Hey.
Hey man. Hey, welcome to Bodega Nights. I'm Joao. We got Miko and we got Norm. So just like a little bit of just so that we get how it's going to look. I'm once again to the right, upper right. Miko is upper left, and Norm once again is the invisible man
He's
on
on
the
the
bottom.
bottom.
Yeah.
It's a good power bottom.
Well, we're gonna say. Well, since we don't have Martin with us today, we need to have somebody messing around with like the virtual backgrounds
Something.
and all of that because we don't have Martin with
I like
his
how
Zorro
the
thing going on, right? Like,
I do like how the software decided that Norm's face is the one that has to be removed.
it's terrible.
Right.
It's like
Like
scanning
somebody in
background
Zoom.
Yeah, this is Zoom.
Yep.
Mhm.
Scanning
Oh, that-
background,
Okay, somebody
removing
has designed-
unimportant material.
That's really messed up, dude.
Right?
I like how
It's
your
not
teeth
even my
show up,
shirt. It's
though.
not my background. It's me.
Deleting in like unimportant item. Peek.
Identified green screen. Rendering now.
I do like how your teeth apparently show up.
Oh
Right?
yeah, they do, huh? That's pretty cool.
Again, apparently just the rest of it is like unimportant, but your teeth are fine.
Now, if an actual background that is just black, that'll be freaky.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey guys, so how you guys been doing?
And how
How's
was your
life? Interesting. Lots and lots of techie issues because I have to set some things for the office that have to do with streaming. And I have to use a laptop that's from 2010, using equipment from 2011, using stuff from 2005, hoping to sell something in this modern day era. Should be fun.
Wait,
I'm
streaming.
looking
So, oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm literally using this whole thing to capture pretty much the video and just run it through a different laptop and everything else just to try to run it smoother. Because the thing we're running it out of, it probably cannot handle like the transitions by itself. So we have two computers there just to try to run things a little better.
Yeah, that's kind of how some streamers will do it, right? Like they have the powerful computer to play the game, and then they have their less powerful computer that is
Set up for streaming.
essentially for streaming it over the internet, right?
Yep, pretty much. That's
Yeah.
actually something I will be seriously looking into probably in the next like 2-3 months. That's also an excuse for me to buy the new card. I shall put my less powerful GPU into the streaming computer.
But then you got
It
a
is
new.
technically
You got a new card, Miko, right?
not a new card. Like this card's from I got this last year when I built it. I have the 2080 Ti.
Okay.
So that's why I've been getting the memes nonstop from my friends who keep telling me about like, oh, how do you feel about getting the 2080 Ti when this thing came out? Which my usual answer is this some sort of peasant joke? I'm too rich to understand. But I'll say the benchmarks have been crazy. The thermal stuff, everything, like, wow. The only thing that kind of irks me is the fact that it uses like 70, 80 watts more than my current GPU. So it like runs 350 watts.
But
That
apparently,
is a...
the 3080, the new one that you might want to look into getting, still can't run the new Crisis and the new stupid mode they call Can It Run Crisis.
But can it run Microsoft's Flight Simulator?
Ah.
That seems to be the new like benchmark for some things is Microsoft Flight Simulator, which apparently can run in 4K. It's like, why? Okay, this seems cool.
Well, because
Were
it's
they
an
able to get
enterprise-
like
Oh, go ahead, Norm.
But yeah, I think I saw that the max setting for the Can It Run Crisis mod is it can run everything maxed out using a 3080, not the 3090, 3080, and it'll run at 27 to 32 frames. Which in fairness is probably as well as anything could run original Crisis back then, if they could even run it. I actually forgot how horribly like unoptimized is unoptimized a word? Not optimized, unoptimized.
Not optimized. Yeah, that
Not optimized that game was. It's just apparently like, they
Yeah.
tried running it. Apparently it uses 4 gigs worth of memory once you max it all original Crisis. Back in the day when we had video cards that were barely pushing 512 MB. I
Speaking
want to
of
know
that-
how they play tested that.
Speaking of like maxing stuff out, we had exams over the weekend and it was so bad. Like our kids had their midterm exams for a couple of subjects and we were meant to like proctor, and it was really weird.
How so?
Like we
Like
had
how?
the way it worked was we had like 4 students assigned to each teacher, and these 4 students used a different video call like platform.
Oh, okay.
So like
Mm.
I had Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Messenger, and OBS. Not OBS. Discord.
Wow, okay.
Open. Right. So like all 4 of them, and like one student on each platform. They were sharing their screen just to show that they weren't alt tabbing into like their answers, and they had their webcams on as well. And
That's why you have the second screen that gives you all your answers.
yeah, that was the thing, man. That was like I was like, man, you guys really didn't think this through, because like the second screen, my second screen right here is where I'd put the notes, right? And
Yeah.
this is the screen that I would share with all of the answers. So you know that was terrible, and
It works with the honesty system.
yeah, honesty system pretty much, and it was one of those times where 8 gigabytes of RAM really is sort of the minimum, because
Yeah, okay, I can get that.
I'm running at like 6 gigs of RAM for all four of those, plus OBS, because that's how I get my camera. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to complain about that because they made us go to work on a weekend.
Oh, it's the weekend. Okay, I thought it was like
Yeah.
during like Friday or something.
No, Saturday, man. So they made us go to work on a weekend, proctoring an exam that was really easy to cheat on.
Well, I mean, again, if they're just saying, "Oh, just share the screen so you can monitor it," like, you seem to not fully understand how computers and lots of these things work now. I
Yeah.
mean, even if I did have a second screen, I could literally just have a. I mean, I have this. I have a smartphone right over here on my computer where I can monitor chat. That alone can really give me all the things I need.
Right, so I don't know, man. A nice shot like this. The notebook is like right here, you know. Like, okay,
We should ask them. We need you to set up a secondary webcam that just goes over the shoulder. This goes right here, so we see your keyboard, screens, and everything else.
yeah. I was like,
We also need to track your eyeballs.
yeah.
Oh God, eyeball
messed
tracking.
up, dude. We were like, all right, so these
Brother.
so essentially we're using like Big Brother tactics here. Okay. It's really messed up, right? Because I have multiple screens, or I have multiple monitors, right? So having a number of different video feeds made me feel all like Big Brother. Oh my God, this doesn't feel comfortable at all. You know?
Staring at everyone like, I must grade you all, and I will fail you in an instant. Do you also have like a way to just like tap into their speaker? It's like, you, what are you doing? Focus on your work. It's like a booming voice.
Yeah, sort of like well, if there are in case of announcements, right? Like they have their computers unmuted, mics are unmuted. That way, I can hear if anybody's telling them the answers or whatever. But again, it was, oh my God, honesty system should hope honesty system works. Oh my God, I just realized.
I mean, that's
my background.
that
is
honestly seems, yeah.
No, go ahead. I'll just like.
I mean, that honestly
usually
seems pretty
good.
much how the tracking is doing now, right? For the tracing for COVID and things. Like, we need you to sign up these papers. Please don't lie on them.
Yeah, pretty much.
The same way, like, someone announced, like, if you lie on your forms, we could sue you. To which I mean, he said, if they're lying on their forms, how do you know who to sue?
Oh, I just realized this is a really bad idea because I have green screen, right? So if I turn that green, like.
Is it a bad idea or is it a really good idea?
Booga knits.
Yeah, like put
Body
up,
knits.
like put up the Batman signal or something.
That's really cool.
The bat signal in the back. That would be good.
You have a smoky background.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do that, just get like
bothering me, though.
that set up just like in the corner of my room, just to have like the different colors going on. Just because, again, this is probably the most boring thing in the world. Like in our back right now, you see a couch with a random mattress on it and like other things.
So a green screen is next for you, Miko?
No, I mean,
There
just
we go.
because of NVIDIA broadcast, I can remove my things without green screen. A fantastic
show
new addition
us.
to the drivers.
It's actually
Oh, that
pretty
thing
cool.
there. Yeah, I mean, watch.
It's baked right into it.
Let's see. Wait, it's over here. Look, it's awesome. on,
Privacy.
and off, on, off, on, off.
So did
see
you have
the
to
video.
did you have to cut out your outline, or
No, not
does
at
it
all.
automatically detect?
It does everything.
That's
Actually,
so cool yet so
you just-
creepy.
Yep. And
AI.
unlike Zoom, it identifies what's important, and it's this. For Norm,
Not the
Zoom
couch.
identifies that your teeth are important, but not the rest.
That's so bad.
I'm so
Specifically
creeped out
for
by that.
Miko.
What is
Here's
it
how it
figuring? What's it basing it off? Like it sees your face and it goes, "Yep, this is
bad.
what we remove."
Yeah, that's what's green for me. I don't know. I think it's like Zoom is specifically for the context of Miguel's here and he's always noticing the windows. Zoom is just specifically muting me out just to
And
be able
making
to
more windows.
focus the windows.
If we took a screenshot of your place without like the you on it and just made that your virtual background, will you just disappear? Will you just be like floating eyes?
Maybe.
But yeah, I love this new equipment, new technology. Actually, it's one thing I have to say probably with the pandemic is there's a big push for lots of new digital tech, lots of new hardware, lots of new everything.
Yeah.
And with the sudden people buying all the computer parts, suddenly all these developers now, we have money, we have so much income flow. Let's develop stuff.
That's insane. If you've been keeping up with like a lot of the tech news, some of the stuff that's been going on is just crazy.
Actually, I want to know what's happening in the Linux section because suddenly everyone has time to work on stuff. A lot of time.
Yeah, well, it's just usual stuff going on. Something interesting. Say like what's it?
Like that movie video, it looks like that
Nvidia.
music video.
Nvidia bought AMD or something. Bought ARM. Nvidia
not
bought
yeah, they built
ARM.
AMD.
Yeah, they wouldn't buy AMD. They bought ARM. Sorry about that. Which is kind of
Chipset?
crazy. Yeah.
Well, they
This
wanted
just
new
shows
things.
how
Actually,
much
what
money
surprised me, the
Nvidia
NVIDIA...
has.
Actually, the worst thing that NVIDIA is doing right now is the new GPU they released,
Mm-hmm.
their Founders Edition, is nothing like their blanks, apparently. It's nothing like the actual thing they made, because usually they make their Founders Edition, which just has better parts, better little thing here. But essentially, it's the same design. No, the Founders Edition is a completely different design. So anyone looking to water cool, wow, I have no idea what you're planning to do. But still, it's actually the heat control is amazing. It runs cooler than my current GPU, which is kind of crazy because it requires more power, pushes more things, but somehow runs about 3 or 5 degrees colder.
And imagine what ARM technology is going to do to Nvidia's heat moving forward.
Oh yeah, right now what they're doing with the smooth through stuff is pretty amazing. And just that it's making me just want to buy the new 3090, but I'm looking, I have no real reason to, because all they're showing is like, hey, you can do 4K gaming. My screen does not do 4K. You can do 8K gaming. I cannot afford said screen.
Yeah.
And you can't really stream 8K gaming.
Oh no, not at all. I don't think there's any platform that was like, how much bandwidth do you want? What's the bitrate you're pushing? No.
How many hours you got? No.
But it's interesting how they're now trying to push 1440 as the new 1080.
Why not?
Yeah.
Because like all the benchmarks pretty much like, oh, they expect you to play on 1440, not 1080 anymore. Especially now that they're apparently 1440 screens with 260 refresh rate. I'm just saying, like, really,
my
wow.
Samsung screen has the maximum at 1440.
Okay, and the refresh rate is what?
Max.
Oh, the 1440. Yeah.
It's a 1440 max dimension, but it's pixel size.
And
But I don't think the refresh rate is going to be anything close to gamer levels.
Oh, yeah, it's
'Cause it
actually
wasn't
quite
really
weird
designed for
how...
that.
I remember I was so happy getting 60 because back when I was gaming on the Mac, getting like a solid 35 frames was amazing. Then you get 60, like, yes! But now I'm like, if it goes below 110, I'm like, what is this garbage? What is this?
Yeah.
Then I see my nephew like
Actually, what I'm
freaking
looking
gaming
forward
at
to-
300 frames.
What
Yeah,
I'm hoping
300
for,
frame gaming, like what?
I'm actually looking forward to, what was that? What the ramifications are for this new technology from NVIDIA and Samsung. What effects it'll be having on laptops coming up soon. Because
Oh,
video
the chipsets, yeah.
video cards are now cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Like gaming laptops should be cheaper soon.
funny thing that, and this is sort of ARM related as well. Apple is moving to their what's it? The silicon system on chip thing, which is sort of based on ARM, which is kind of crazy as well, because like the old Intel like MacBooks have this problem of overheating apparently.
Oh yeah, it says if you get not even the new ones, if you get an i9 laptop, it can't even use maximum processing power because it overheats too quickly.
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty crazy.
That's why they're moving away from Intel, right? And they're using their in-house sort of ARM-based processors,
Man,
which is
remember when
quite
AMD
interesting.
used to be the hottest stuff?
Now it really is the hottest stuff.
Oh, and AMD,
No, that
apparently
goes to
Intel's
Intel.
yeah, Intel's now. Oh, AMD, we can fry an egg. Intel,
Hold my egg.
Here's the steak that goes with it. We
Have
can
you tried
boil
them?
your tea.
Have you guys tried using those Ryzen chips? They're supposed to be pretty good.
I'm actually using a Ryzen chip. I have the 3900X on me right now.
Nice. Yeah, because I'm thinking of moving away from Intel, and because like everything that I've had has always been like an Intel chip of some kind.
That's like the funny thing there. Same thing has been Intel a lot, and I kind of wanted to, and I had AMD stuff, whatever, just stupidly hot. I'm thinking, man, I can finally go full Intel system. Then AMD comes out with all these other things. Like, well, I'm back to AMD. Bye, Intel.
Right? I don't know, man, and
Just the pricing and the value you're getting. I can't justify like the purchase of the i9s at all versus the 3900s.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's your value for money when it comes to a Ryzen chip is off the charts, really.
Yep.
Like, I don't know.
Kind of like the new GPUs. Really, I'm looking like, wow, it is insanely cheap. The only thing, though, that I'm looking at it, I don't think people realize how big those new GPU cards are. Like, when I saw apparently, like, compared to my current card, it's like, wow, my case is just enough to fit that thing in.
Yeah.
So you need
wanna-
what, a mid
You
tower?
need a large. I currently have a full tower right now. It's the smaller side of the full tower, but I'm looking at like, wow, you are a chunky card. But I kind of hate the wiring. I really, really hate the wiring. It's in the middle of the card, and I think I'm lucking out that if I do change it, my PCU actually is set to use that weird 12-pin thing. Because, not even using 8-pin, it's now 12-pin thing because 350 watts of power.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't really need to upgrade, you can, since this is the first gen of the new technology.
Oh, no, I don't plan
Wait
to
for the next
upgrade
one.
right now. I'm kind of like, okay, everyone's enjoying the 3080s. I'm going for the 3090s. I'm going to see how these go. Then I'll wait for the next step of that 3090.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, because they're
that's-
going to be working out the kinks.
But I'm kind of hitting that wall again where I'm looking at this like, if 1440 is going to be the new thing, I don't mind. I can run 1440, but I would say, oh, you should do 4K gaming. Like, what kind of screen do you think I have?
Yeah.
But you can do 4K. Like, that's cool. I'm not going to appreciate that with a 27-inch screen or a 30-inch screen. I have a 4K screen over there for my PlayStation because it's like a massive 65-incher, and like that's when 4K looks great. But if I put 4K into like a small screen, it's like, okay. It's like when they told me, hey, the iPhone, you can watch things 4K. Like, I'll be honest. I am not going to notice the difference with a screen that tiny.
Yeah, actually.
I like how Miko goes like
That's
4K
true.
and it's like this small.
You know, it's a 4K thumbnail. Oh, look at that. If I really, really focus in, I can almost see a pore.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I always find interesting when people start pushing all these things, not realizing. You realize if you go this way, all your hardware can't do anything with it, right?
I mean,
So what's
that's
the
the thing. That's the thing that I've been complaining about when it comes to like internet connections and stuff. Like, people just don't.
Oh, yeah. I remember that from one of our last podcasts where people are, why is it so slow? When is your router from the year like 2004, 2008? That might be your first problem.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Are your
That's
wires are from the time they invented Ethernet cables? That's your next problem. And of course, the other part is your motherboard in your computer, if you're gaming on the computer, able to even recognize what you're feeding it.
Yeah, so it's just that's the thing, or that's a thing. But
And
I don't know.
that will never change. I don't think that'll change anytime soon. But I am amazed how much people are now adapting to new tech. New business are now developing the whole work at home things now become such a norm that I'm kind of wondering, will it actually leave once we actually get things into the world somewhat sorted out? I feel like with that thing so developed, like this might be the new thing for a lot of people where if your job really doesn't need you to be physically there and you now have the infrastructure at your home to handle it, will you be asked to physically go back to the office?
Yeah, I mean that was something that some of my buddies and I from work were really happy about when this whole thing started. All of a sudden, those administrators that had meetings that could have been emails or memos
Are now emails and memos.
they're now just emails and memos, and I absolutely love it. And I'm pretty sure that
it's all those meetings have become Zoom meetings.
oh, it's so sad.
Oh, mine are emails. Mine are emails and Viber chat groups.
Yeah, so it's
But that is a good case.
It's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. We're gaining a lot of time. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people see the benefit of say not having to go for that daily commute that takes like 4 or 5 hours of your day.
Oh, yeah. Not just that. Again, you start realizing how much of your job does not have to be done in a physical office space anymore. I mean, I do see immediate limits. Like, I don't like how I can't immediately go to my creatives guy and kind of work with him directly while he's on his PC. Because that's kind of how we do things quickly. Okay, don't send me the email. Let's just work on this together. Like, okay, fix this. Okay, we're good. Obviously, I can't do that now because it's going to be a little difficult. And if you want to do screen sharing, of course, there's the whole bandwidth issue, which, oh, God, when the school started, I was so worried that net was just going to become so scruffy because of the sheer amount of people currently online at the same time.
Yeah.
Did you suffer from the lower... what is that, dimensions that Netflix was implementing in the early parts of the pandemic, Miko?
Which one's that one? Like, they were like, they were trying to lower down like the bandwidth or something.
Yeah, they were trying
honest, but things I was watching really didn't bother me much because they were not meant to be shown in 4K. Like lots of films I watch were like from my childhood, so them just pushing 720 would be amazing.
Not even a horizontal ratio.
Yeah.
I'm pushing a total of 22 frames. Yeah.
Yes.
How was say for example, but like going back to working from home, like when I'm checking papers, for example, I would love to do that from home more than anything else. Like
now you do.
Yeah, but say like after an exam week or something, we still have to show up at the office the week after that. And that is
okay,
right. That is protected time for checking, and so we just sit at our desks and we check papers. That's 2 hours of my day, like to and from the office, that could have been saved if I just did all of that work from home.
That's that you have actual papers that you have to grade. Like I thought it would be all like.
Well, I'm talking about
files.
I'm talking about like back in the day.
Oh, back in the before times, yeah.
Yeah, back in the before times, which apparently people are now using unironically.
BC, before COVID.
The before times. The thing I miss most about the before time, it's kind of weird, is being able to order food at 2 a.m.
Yeah, man.
It's like, it's 2 a.m.
Or being able to
get some chicken.
drive, yeah.
Or being able to go out at 2 a.m. and have something like open. Right? Like I used to do that. There was a silog place near the house. And, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
Used to do so many things like early morning. Now it's kind of like, what's the point? Even if you're like an early riser, there's not even the earliest things that open. Earliest things open up at 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's really no point in it because curfew here starts at it ends at 5 a.m. Yeah, it doesn't mean stores open at 5 a.m. People have to leave their homes to get there.
Yeah, I
miss 2 a.m. like fast food. Like I'm gonna go to McDonald's. I'm gonna go to Jollibee. Go to these places 24 hour. You see these 24-hour signs. Like what's like you see like children. What did that mean? Back in the before times, 24 hours meant they never closed.
Part of the reason I liked Manila so much and didn't have too much of an issue with Manila traffic was because I was never driving in Manila.
You're never part of the traffic.
I was never part of the traffic, but like we did drive around, but it was always at what, 12,
Midnight.
11? Yeah, like midnight. Pick up Norm from like Makati at 11 or 12 in the evening, and it's like, wow, there's no traffic in Makati, right? Hang out
That
until
kind of remind me
3.
when I lived there. Pretty much like, hey, as long as you never are part of the traffic, it seems pretty great.
Yeah. So I don't know. It kind of makes me miss all of that, Like,
Miss the traffic.
no, it makes
Time
me miss.
outdoors.
It makes me miss like driving around, Ed's at 3 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Some of my friends have gone out past
I've actually
curfew.
tried that.
Is it anything like it
I've
was
actually
back
tried
when
that
we were
driving.
gone? Oh, back in the back when
Back in the before times.
when was I in Manila? 2008-ish. 2008,
Before.
2009. Like driving around Ed's at 3 or 4 in the morning was it wasn't too much by way of traffic. But I don't know what it was like earlier this year, at the end of last year. So
Actually, yeah. How are things?
I think in Manila
Curious.
is-
Something about Manila. So, did you also join the random crowd of people trying to see that small bit of beachfront?
I don't get
The
it.
memes are spicy, and I love them.
I don't get it. Right, we've
Everybody's
transitioned
been
into we've transitioned into the outrage part of the podcast.
I find it less outrageous
know.
and less more like I am amused by the memes. Just essentially that photo of everyone with their cameras, and then people just put random photos like, social distancing is dead.
Yeah, just for context, right? There were pictures of there were pictures that surfaced of people hanging around in like very densely packed, right? In along Ross Boulevard to see the unveiling of that Dolomite Terrible Idea Beach, Manila Bay. And I don't know. I wasn't able to follow the narrative or anything. It just
Not
seems really
same.
dumb.
It's kind of spotty for me too. I'm just amused by all the memes are just rushing down like, look at this. I'm like, I think my favorite one is Manila boasts so much about their amazing buildings and are somehow excited by fake sand. It's like, like we have a lot of that real sand over here.
We don't
The
have
most
real
common
sand
one
over
I
here,
see-
dude. This is Cebu. We're limestone.
We have some sand.
You see
it's a
that
lot more
sand?
real than the Dolomite.
You see that sand in
It's more
Shangri-La?
organic.
All of that came from somewhere else. Right? That
It's not Dolomite.
beachfront.
Except for one area here.
So I don't know. We don't have sand. We have like little pebbles,
I mean, what is sand?
littler pebbles.
I was wondering that apparently sand, like my geologist friends, that geologist the thing that they're saying they say dirt and stuff. Apparently to them, sand is a weird concept because sand is like, you see, grab a pile of sand, look at that into a microscope. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of different stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah,
for
I
them,
can
sand
see
in
that.
a weird way does not exist in their categories.
So it's like for them, it's like ground, rock, soil,
It's
and
a whole,
everything
it's
else.
like very fine
Shells.
particles like shoved together.
It's stuff.
It's ocean dust.
Yeah, I
Something
was
like
gonna
that.
say it's like dust, which is what dead skin and like
Since you say it's a
parts
whole bunch of weird
bugs
stuff.
and whatnot.
Though I
smushed
also do
together.
love the whole people saying it's not even white sand, which kind of irks me as someone who does handle a hotel. The term white sand doesn't mean you'll see stuff like in Hawaii or Fiji. White sand is a particular type of sand, which they also can't call Dolomite white sand because it's actually not sand, nor is it white. But it has nothing to do with its color per se. It is a certain type of sand. There are like 3 kinds of white sand. And not all
Hey,
white
Miko,
sand is
all
actually
sand
white.
matters, man.
Not to geologists, they say it doesn't matter at all. It's not real, like the moon.
All sand matters. You can't differentiate between white and whatever dolomite is.
They all matter, except Dolomite. Don't know what that stuff is. But hey, we lucked out. We probably made some bucks out of that one. Apparently, it was mined near one. It's mined somewhere south in Cebu. Apparently,
I don't know, but it was mined from Cebu, and why? Like I said, right? Like we're not exactly known for good sand. I mean, like we are known for good beaches and sand and whatnot, but like anybody that's actually from here, that's a joke.
Inter-island relations, I guess.
Right? I don't know. To say that, like, oh yeah, we have our sand from Cebu. Like, dude, that's terrible. People from Cebu will drive like 4 hours to the north to get good sand.
Yep.
Like
It's
4 or 5 hours north to get good sand. The rest of the island, that's just little pebbles.
I mean, again, what is sand? Dear God, but yeah, I just love all the
Not like
spicy
sand.
memes and everyone just like screamed out, "Look at this! Look how small it is!" My like, it's not the size; it's how it's utilized. But yeah, it's just that the crazy outrage over. Look at this! Look at how much they spent. Like, I feel like that's not the end of the project. At least in my head, I really hope that's not the end of the project.
No, it's not. I mean, we talked about this in a previous episode.
Yeah.
It was just one misguided step in an otherwise okay project.
And much delayed project.
Yeah, very much delayed project.
I mean, is there any project in the Philippines that's not delayed at this point? I mean, I'm amazed that in my area in Lapu-Lapu, they're finally working on the 4 lanes, which was actually approved back in the mid-90s.
My God, yeah,
And it's
dude.
only now that it's being worked on.
There's so much of that. That that airport that opened in Boracay was approved in the early 90s, or it was approved during the administration of Ramos.
Yep.
That was when it started coming together, and it was only in the 2000s, right, that the airport opened.
See, they should have done
So
it like
we're,
what we did. We just built that thing and said, screw it. We're making an airport. And we had like 12 pending lawsuits, I think, about that. I don't know if those still exist or if they were finally sorted out.
Yeah, we'll just build an airport.
It's like, you need permission. Nah, we don't.
We're
We
not
don't have
waiting
one.
20 years for this.
I forgot
like-
who was in charge that time to just decide, no, we're making an airport. But you need permissions. No, we don't. Just makes it. YOLO. Hey
We're
guys,
the
what's
government.
that?
Yeah.
It's a
gosh,
port
they talk about
for
like
planes.
weird construction things. One that's now being really rushed. But in fairness, it's not a government project. There's a bridge being built here in Cebu between Cordova and Cebu.
Yeah.
Right?
Because something is about Cordova, which is technically it's an island beside Lapu-Lapu. It's like 10 meters away. But you know, I
Probably
guess
less.
counts because there is a waterway that cuts both of them. So I guess it counts for some reason. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's kind of Cebu province, not Lapu-Lapu. So when we had the MECQ and everything, and they went to MGCQ, they were essentially still trapped in their small island because there's no way to escape. For them to escape, they'd have to enter an area that's higher quarantine. So they were just
Yeah.
perpetually trapped in their side of the island. So I'm
Yeah,
sure they're
that
like
was
looking at the
so
bridge,
bad.
build it faster. We need escape.
Yeah. Oh, that bridge has been around. That bridge has been planned forever as well.
Yep. Now at least it's being
uh,
built, and at least it's a private group making it. So I feel like it might actually be built on time.
Yeah.
I mean, within their lifetimes.
Well, according to them, it should be built by 2021. But, with Rona and everything, I don't know how that will go. I don't know if
Yeah.
they'll expedite it further so people can escape the island or slow it down because there's not much people building. So that's also another, dear God, it's kind of want to, I guess it's the outrage section too. And now our HR
this.
team now has to actually find out where do people live upon hiring because of the issues with lockdowns. Essentially, if you live within the city that the business is in, like, okay, you're priority. If you live a few cities away, like, okay, you might be a problem. Just saying. Like, one of our friends who handles construction, his office technically closed up, not because he wasn't an essential worker or anything, but all his staff were from Cebu province, and they couldn't get into Cebu city.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I have a business, but I have no staff because they can't enter the city. So what do I do with this?
Yeah.
It suddenly is a problem we never thought of looking at. Essentially, even the jokes like, whoever thought we'd have border control issues within the island?
Yeah, that was really weird. Like, throughout this whole like lockdown, the thing that's come into sharp relief is just how integrated this Tri-City area of Cebu is, right?
Yep.
Like right outside my house is like I'm from Cebu City, but right outside of my house is Mandaue. And during that weird 2 weeks when Cebu City was more heavily locked down than Mandaue, like we couldn't go into Mandaue, which meant what was once the nearest supermarket all of a sudden became like really far.
Yeah. Or even us, like just like trying to go into HMR or things which is in hypermart, which is literally just a little bit into Mandao. Like, no, this land does not exist to you anymore. You have not unlocked this territory yet. Please return to your homes.
It's so
You're
weird.
not authorized to enter this area.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, not supermarket. There's a BPI along AS Fortuna. There's a bank along AS Fortuna.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
that's the nearest one to us, and like now we have to go all the way to like Talamban to get to the BPI. Like
the weirdest one for me was the KFC in Mabolo. Half the KFC is in Mandaue, and half the KFC is in Cebu City.
Yeah. Right? And,
so the parking and the drive-through entrance is in Mandaue, but the restaurant area is in Cebu City. So you had to cross the border to enter it. So there were literally armed security and police there to make sure you're actually going there for the drive-through.
Yeah.
And people exiting the drive-through were returning back to Mandao if they had to go there. It's like, what a weird ground here.
Yeah. And there was there are some houses that sort of have Mandaue and Lapu-Lapu on.
Yeah.
In a weird sort of micro way, this is the problem with the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland.
Yes.
And Brexit. Anyway, that's something that I was like reading on as well. Whoa,
how is Brexit so now?
Weird.
Progressing, I guess.
I mean, I understand last time I bothered to check was, what was that? They're pushing through with it, but they didn't have any plans.
Well, they
Has
had an
that
agreement.
changed?
They pretty much crazy, right? So the UK and EU hammered out a withdrawal agreement, which is kind of what they had to do, right? They had to create a deal for the exit that included a lot of the stuff that they agree upon in the next few years, exactly after the UK makes its formal exit or whatever. And there was a part in this withdrawal agreement about the relationship between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom, right? Because of the free flow of goods and all of that. And, they hammered out a part of an agreement, that part of the agreement. And a couple of months later, the UK Parliament just writes a law that contradicts, quote, tries to override what they have in the withdrawal agreement.
Okay. That's interesting.
Which brings up the interesting question about international law, sovereignty, the supremacy of parliament, that sort of thing. Because it's essentially the UK doing what China did when there was that arbitral agreement or whatever. When there was an ICJ decision ruling on the South China Sea, West Philippine Sea, East Sea, depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
There was that decision by the ICJ, and China was just like, meh, we don't necessarily accept your, because there's that principle of sovereignty and statehood, like states are supreme and nothing is higher than the state.
Well, I'd like to think the UK, that would be the royal family is higher than all of you.
Sort of, but then not really, because they have the supremacy of parliament.
True, but the Queen can essentially still override them, if I remember correctly. Isn't that what happened when they tried to stop things? The Queen's Prima said, Parliament is off for now. Because I'm pretty sure they still practice URR, Parliament? Don't they?
Yeah, but like it's weird. This is another weird thing about the UK. They don't have a written constitution, so all of that stuff is just sort of understood, and it hasn't been tried. And I'm pretty sure that if the Queen were to try that power, there would be a bunch of discussion, and the royal family would then be deposed.
I mean, how though? Because again, if they still practice the idea of URR or Ultima Ratio Regnum, I feel like they have a vote. Like Queen goes, "I hear your vote." No, like we tried, guys. Bring it home.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's the thing, right? That's the thing.
I mean, sounds like they'll end up like their American cousins. They'll start dumping. No, I don't think they'll dump tea into their harbor, but because yes, overthrow the royal family. We are now free.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about the royal family.
We're now the 52nd state.
They have power, but they don't have power. If that makes sense.
I get what you mean. Thing is, they have a lot of
paradoxical in that way.
things. They have lots of things they could do that they generally don't practice, but technically there's nothing really stopping them from doing such. I think not like in Japan where pretty much their royal family purely is like a figurehead.
Yeah, Japan has a straight up constitutional monarchy. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas with the UK, it's something.
Like constitution.
What does that mean? Is that what you put into the tea?
But I don't know. Like they do have a constitution. It's just kind of
It's
understood. You know, it's
the verbal
like
agreement among us.
Yeah. It's sort of I would describe the UK constitution as something that is zeitgeisty.
Oh, okay.
In the sense that there is a general understanding that, say, this particular law from the parliament is constitutional in nature. There is an understanding that this particular document is constitutional in nature. This particular book by this particular work of authority, I think it's called. This particular book by this dude from like the 1800s is constitutional in nature. So it's just sort of an understanding that these principles, these laws, these publications are constitutional, and they can just pop in and out of constitutionality based on
That is so complicated.
the need of the time, right? Yeah. So it's flexible. Like you can just sort of change the constitution
On the fly?
Yeah, that's kind of how the British Constitution works.
Huh, that's interesting. Very
yeah.
volatile, but interesting.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about it, right? It is potentially volatile, but it isn't, or that's not how it plays out. Like I'm pretty sure that if we introduced a system like that into, say, a place like the Philippines, we'd like fall into disarray. But they've been at
Chaos.
They've been at it for hundreds of years, and it seems to cobble along quite well.
Somehow. I mean,
Yeah.
give them time. They'll figure out how to mess it up. Once you put a good chance of it, exploding, generally there's a good chance it'll explode. It's like when you poison one bottle of wine, a batch of 1,000. You'll mostly be okay until that one day you're not.
There is with this whole Brexit thing, they've been saying that there's like a constitutional crisis or whatever, where we're not sure about what is constitutional or not. So this could be a tipping point, but I doubt it.
I feel like they've been subjugated way too long for that to be that much of a thing.
Well, I don't know. Brexit is
I
quite
don't know
interesting.
enough about this.
I'm actually more curious to what's going to happen to that tunnel attached to France. So where's their choke point?
Actually, because that's like a hard border. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna have to go through like a customs check before you get on that train.
Yep, and there's that. Even the tunnel that goes through it, you can drive through and things. I think.
Yeah. You take your car, but then
you're supposed to be able to drive.
But then you park it on a train, and then you
For the
ride
entrance?
the train, and then like you drive out on the other side. So think of it like the Tanyan Strait,
park a
but instead
car
of
on a
boats, it's a
train?
train.
So that's
Yeah, you
going
park
to be
your car on
interesting.
the
So that means you'd have to bring in your passport, all these things.
Yeah.
So interesting, complicated. But I'm sure they'll somehow manage something, or set on fire. Really wanted to will happen.
I mean, it
I mean,
makes.
do you think we're gonna actually be able to see something like that?
Oh, it
like
works
where
in
we
Switzerland.
In the Philippines?
Oh, in the
I
Philippines.
mean, like just
You mean like the
Just a simple
underground
act of
tunnel,
just
or
parking-
like things sorted out?
Because that's kind of what we
Yes.
have with the Roro system, but instead of a train, it's on a boat.
these boats.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I actually find it so interesting in somewhere in the far future where all our islands are just connected by a massive train system,
Oh,
like a massive subway. So that'd be really cool. Suddenly, all the place seems
That
so
would be
reachable.
cool.
Yeah.
In the far
like a bullet
future, when
train.
conventions come back to world.
This is my big frustration with the way politics works and how flip floppy everything is, right? Like a good project comes in from this president, then somebody else, comes in and says, you know what, we're not going to focus on that project because it wasn't built here. And then after we have the 6 years of that president or whatever, we have another president that comes in that looks to the president before this one and brings up some of those old projects. And that's the only time they ever take off. That's why it took forever, right? But that's why things here take forever. Because our governments don't like to continue what the immediately preceding government did to show that
it's kind of hard
terrible,
to.
right?
Yeah, the carryover project has been the most difficult thing.
Right, and it frustrates
why.
me. It frustrates me to no end because as much as I did not like her as a president, she had a really good idea when it came to the whole Roro thing with like all of them boats.
Yep.
Have that entire system. Have that entire system built out. That way you can just sort of drive.
Yeah. I'm sure the airline industry would have been very upset with it, but
But then it's a completely different. You're
just providing options for people, man.
It's a different market. It's a different market. The people that would have been pissed off would have been like shipping companies, but then the government would just say, buy a boat.
Because the shipping companies, because one of the biggest things, what I prefer of the Roro over like the taking flights, if I go down to Bacolod, it's simply you can carry whatever weight you want on your car. You are not restricted by that 20 kilos or whichever. It's how much you got there. A lot. Got it. Throw in the truck. Let's go.
Yeah, but
throw it on the boat. We're not gonna sink at all.
But the impetus for
physics.
But the impetus for the Roro project was so that you could drive a truck from Cebu to Manila, or say from Cebu to Bohol, carrying goods. That way, there is
trade.
That way there is economic activity. So
not just that you have different options to bring things, not just one sole option.
Yeah.
Strengthening your supply line.
I would think that the person that is going to Manila from Cebu wasn't the sort of primary audience or wasn't the primary customer of this Roro system, but we would have been the beneficiaries of it, at least for sort of small scale inter-island travel. Like, I really love the drive from Cebu to Dumaguete. Mm-hmm. And, a big part of it has to do with that squeezing onto that boat in Santander. And then like that 45-minute boat ride. And then
I can imagine like local travel will have a boost. Like if you're able to go to like maybe take a flight to Cebu and then from Cebu take the Roro and just go around the Visayas Islands.
I mean, the simple thing that I see here is people who take the Roro to shop at SM.
What?
Yeah.
There are people who come from different islands to come to Cebu to shop at SM. Then just because the port is so close by.
Yeah.
To the extent I remember Seaside was even planning a way to get fast craft to land by SM Seaside.
Yeah, because it's the biggest mall in this part of in this little chunk of the Philippines.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And you guys take your MRTs and your cars. Here, people take boats to go to the mall.
Yeah, but
fancy like that. Don't you have a boat, Norm?
But after she wasn't, after she concluded her presidency.
That's why it floods. I've seen the pictures.
The subsequent presidents didn't continue building out the infrastructure that was originally planned, and that's quite frustrating.
Because it was under the previous leader's name.
Yeah,
and that's really the crux of it. Like, you can't finish somebody else's work because somebody else's name is going to be on it, and your name's not going to be on it, and you can't claim it because all the critics are like, no, but she started it, but I finished it. She started it.
It's so annoying. And the other thing, it's such a tiny thing, but I really liked how she said we'll move the holidays to make long weekends.
Yeah, that's what I never said. Like, that's not how the holiday works.
That's not how the holiday works, but it makes so much sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense, but that's not the holiday. That's not how this system works at all.
That's true, but I imagine it has increased local travel.
Yes, I will agree to that, but it just goes to my so what are holidays? Like the day itself, I feel like the meaning of the day is kind of ripped away and just, the point of the holiday is just simply not be at work.
No, the point of the holiday for that time is make money, increase the economy.
But when it comes to holidays, I really don't think that the government should. I don't think that the government should really care about what the holiday means.
Huh.
Right?
I guess from
And
the government
here's-
point of view, yeah. From the individual, I think like, especially if it's important holidays, I feel
Or
like we have to
religious
put meat
holiday.
in.
Yeah, no, especially if it's a religious holiday. If it's a religious holiday, if it is a religious holiday, the government should not care what it means. Because the moment the government starts caring about what a religious holiday means, then you're violating the separation of church and state.
Yep.
But Joao, we have a very caring government. It's rooted in our society. We care too much. All the disagreement on everybody's faces.
Yeah.
Except mine, because mine's
I-
blinds.
I remember though.
You
I
are such a
remember-
blind man.
I remember there was a case. There was an issue. I don't know if it was an actual case. I don't remember. But there was an issue about whether or not we should have a Christmas break.
I mean, I feel like if they took that away, lots of people would be upset about that.
Yeah.
Children, employees who
but
work
then
far.
that,
Teachers who
that's,
wanted that
ano,
break.
But then that's what's it? But then that would be the government acknowledging that Christianity is a more important religion, right?
Okay, I see
Best
where you're coming from
solution.
there. Yeah.
And
Acknowledge every
and so-
religious holiday.
And so what the and so the idea behind the holidays became this isn't something that is supposed to acknowledge the religious significance of, say, your Christmas break. This is something that's supposed to benefit everybody, and everybody gets to rest.
I mean, kind of like why the summer break is not religious. It's purely because it's summer. It's back
Yeah,
in the
or,
times when you needed people to man the fields.
Yeah. So it's there was this.
And other countries, Christmas break is pretty much the winter break.
Yeah. It's the difference between. It was the difference between having a Christmas break where everybody gets to benefit because it gives you rest, and when those court workers in Mindanao were asking for half a day off during Ramadan, that way they wouldn't have to be working while they're fasting, right?
Right.
That is a break that would only benefit one religion, which is
Unless you apply it
violation
to
of-
everyone.
Yeah, unless you apply it to everyone, which was probably a really bad idea. Right? Imagine like losing half a day of work for a few months, a year. But there, which is why I didn't see too much of a problem with moving holidays like that around. Precisely because I don't think the government should care about what the holiday means. All they should care about is the effect of the holiday on everybody that gets to benefit from it.
Okay, when put in
Fair.
that perspective,
Fair.
yeah, I can see the benefits of that.
And there was also the whole 3-day weekends are always amazing.
Oh god, I forgot there's one time there's a weekend that was freaking 5 days. It's insane.
Yeah. But then the
Now,
other thing
and
is,
right now we have a 6-month weekend.
yeah.
What?
But then the way
Don't
it
But
work
works
from
that
now,
March
no?
until now.
The way it works now, though, right, is you have the weekend and then you have a holiday that's on Tuesday. So instead of the government moving the day off to the Monday, they keep it on
Monday
the
just
Tuesday,
becomes
and Monday,
just becomes
the day you file for a leave.
yeah, file a
And all-
leave here.
yeah. And all of a sudden, you've dropped productivity as well.
Ah,
Trying to make
efficiency.
Right, so I don't know. That's my case for, and if I have I will admit that if I have a weekend and then there is a Monday off, or there's a Monday and then your Tuesday is the holiday, you see a significant drop in the number of students that show up,
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
right? And
a lot of students suddenly get sick.
yeah, it's sort of like days when there are exams, right? Like a number of students will get sick. So, or when big deadlines come, students will get sick. Yeah,
Actually,
on
now
those.
that they're online, do they get sick, Joe?
Well, as long as it's not the Rona.
yeah, But it's
Not dead.
it's a thing. It's
You're
weird.
not.
It's weird though because there was
You're not to be fine either.
there was once a time when heavy rains would mean, do we have class today? Nowadays, when there is heavy rain, it's okay, how many kids aren't going to be able to make it because our internet infrastructure is crap?
Yeah.
But the point is, we don't.
Is the
we don't
cloud
cancel class.
covering the Wi-Fi?
Oh god, the rolling blackouts now. These areas will have no school today.
Yeah. Oh my God. Actually, I like how they have announcements though. Like at least when they have these rolling like blackouts or whatever, at least like we're prepared for it.
I wonder if that wasn't there a thing before. Is it nightpasok.com or something to check if you have class tomorrow? Will they now update it for the power outage? I was like, no, power's out. Ain't going to school today.
I'm checking out that.
Sorry,
site.
sir, we haven't been able to charge our devices, and the router is not connected to a battery of anything.
What does it say?
May pasok ba? Meron o wala? Ikaw na lang ang makakapagsabi. Because we're working from home. Right? That's amazing.
Well, I like how it's updated.
There.
And other things you check for update, you should check channel14.com for all the new update content and all the new shows. Joao, what do we have lined up
And
for
if
us?
you like our shows,
Oh
Yes.
yeah, you should totally get us on
We have-
Patreon, man. Yeah, we don't have
support the channel, support the content creators. Get me a real green screen, guys.
Because Zoom apparently doesn't like Norm's skin.
Oh, dude, this is so racist.
I like how the clear water will not be cropped out, but his
This
hands
is actually
will.
green. Can't see this.
I still can't get over it, right? The X's Anonymous thing. Martin really likes plugging X's Anonymous because that's kind of his baby in a way. Next week, I think we're going to be having some of the cast from X's Anonymous on Bodega Nights, so y'all can look out for that. X's Anonymous releases every Friday around 4 p.m. Philippine time ish, 3, and I can't remember when we scheduled it for, but it's on Fridays. It's pretty cool. Fiction, but one of those sorts of things.
Shows.
Yeah, it's a show like that. Radio Norm should be coming back pretty soon at some point, I hope. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends.
When anxiety
on-
levels get high enough, you get an episode of.
Yeah, when anxiety levels get high enough. We're finally going to record another episode of the class record, so that should be out at some point as well. We're going to be talking about technology and this whole teaching and the work from home. Looking forward to hearing the experiences of different teachers because as much as it's been tough, I've been enjoying it. That's pretty cool. Miko, Ironic Gamer, has a stream.
Yeah.
He has a Twitch.
Yeah.
Yep, and lots of new planned content for TWG on the YouTube, which will probably be cut up Let's Plays, not full-on streams. So if you want to check out stream, that's cool too, but we'll probably have new content for the Third World Gaming YouTube channel.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of
Speaking
TWG,
of Third World Gaming, dude, Martin
Yeah.
has been
Martin's been
interviewing
picking up
people
slack
quite a
on
bit, man.
TWG.
Yeah, ever since he canceled Jobber Talk,
Oh, I missed
he
that
needed
show.
he needed some sort of outlet for that. I actually want to talk to him on
Martin
Third World
misses
Gaming.
wrestling.
Yeah,
It's
Wrestling!
probably the new podcast is Martin misses wrestling.
So what's the
dude.
first thing we're going to play on TWG? We're going to stream WWE.
Actually, I want to talk to Martin on Third World Gaming about the Unity IPO. That's quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
But anyway,
And
you guys
those are
been,
things you
like,
guys should
heard of
make
this
sure you guys
game?
check out in channel14.com.
yeah, we're on Spotify.
We're also on YouTube.
I
Yeah,
forget
we're on
that we're
YouTube.
there.
Yeah,
Not Periscope, though.
Subscribe and drink your water. Something hydrate.
Yep.
Apparently,
we should get like OnlyFans as well.